The Selfish Path to Romance. Download Chapter 1 for free at drkenner.com.
Lisa, you want to know if your emotions are normal?
No. I've been seeing a psychologist for years, and he's helped me a lot, but I told him I don't feel much emotion.
Oh,
Case
okay.
in point, my son has brain cancer. When I found out, I felt nothing. Now, I know I'm having this problem. He says I do because he sees the expressions on my face. When somebody tells your son has brain cancer, you would feel that. I don't know what to do.
Okay. When did you find out?
Daddy had brain cancer?
Yeah.
For 5 years then.
Okay. I'm so sorry to hear that. How old is he?
Well, he's 30, but his last 7 MRIs have been amazing. He's doing very, very
Oh,
well.
he's doing well.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we have a friend that had brain surgery. She had a problem too, and as far as I know, she's doing fairly well. So
Yeah.
I hope that's
So far.
Yeah.
It's been really good.
Yeah, I know there are no guarantees, unfortunately, huh?
No.
But so you need to, what I'm hearing is that you want to understand yourself better. You want more clarity on why am I not feeling emotion? What emotion are you, yeah, go ahead. Tell me what you were thinking.
I'm just listening. Go ahead.
Oh, so what emotion would you anticipate that you should feel or ought to feel in that type?
Well, I mean, somebody says your son has brain cancer, you should be devastated, I felt nothing.
Okay, so what's one possibility that you've looked at? Why might you not be devastated?
Well, I was emotionally abused. I'm sure that has something to do with it, right?
Okay, what's the connection you're making?
What do you mean, the connection?
It sounds like you're making a connection that because you were emotionally abused, you managed your mind a certain way.
What I've managed to do is stuff my emotions.
Oh, there you go.
What
Yeah.
I've done.
So as a protective device as a kid, you learn to stuff your emotion or whenever the abuse happened. And that's a normal response. It's not a healthy response because the abuse isn't healthy, but it certainly is a life-preserving response in that context. That, I mean, what can you do if you have no choice, if you're being physically or sexually or whatever it is, emotionally abused? Some people just deaden the emotions. They just want to turn off their whole emotional. They don't want to feel the pain.
How do I learn to feel again? I hate it.
Okay, well, there's your motivation. If you said you love this, don't take it away from me. I love having a deadened emotional.
No, I want to feel.
The fact that you want to feel is an emotion itself, isn't it? You have a hunger. You have a desire.
Absolutely, I do.
So be aware that that is a very important movement forward for you. If you allow yourself to be aware of it, that you have the desire to open up and allow yourself to feel. Now, remember, these were your instructions to your subconscious that you are not, none of us are aware of it as a kid. I mean, I told myself I'd never trust my own mind as a kid. I actually remember saying that, and boy, I felt really insecure for many years until I was able to confront that and say, well, I could trust it a little bit. Maybe you can use that a little bit. Those words "a little bit" are very liberating.
Say that again. What word should I use?
A little bit. I'll let myself feel a little bit. I'll let myself trust my mind a little bit. That was in my case. But in your case, if you allow yourself, instead of telling your subconscious, hey, honey, you have to feel everything, all that raw pain, all that raw emotion, you could experience something, and you may anyway, called...
Hey, I got to interrupt this because we've got to pay some bills. 30 seconds, that's it. A very quick ad, and then Alan will be back.
Romance. I wish I knew more about what girls want from a relationship. Boy, I wish I knew more about what I want. Where's that ad I saw? Here it is. The Selfish Path to Romance, a serious romance guidebook. Download Chapter 1 for free at selfishromance.com and buy it at amazon.com. Huh. The Selfish Path to Romance. That is interesting.
Instead of telling your subconscious, hey, honey, you have to feel everything, all that raw pain, all that raw emotion, you could experience something, and you may anyway, called flooding. When you've told yourself for years, don't feel. People who have post-traumatic stress disorder, they might come back from a war and they don't want to go through the pain anymore. They might give themselves the just the passing thought, but they don't realize it's a standing order in their mind. Don't feel. Don't go there anymore. And then their kids can't relate to them anymore because they're not allowing themselves to feel. It's like, if you're in a hospital and you're on a heart monitor and suddenly the monitor goes flat, what does that mean? You're dead, right? Well, if you're
so I should just say what should I say?
Well, one of the things I'm glad you're in therapy because you can do this. Much better to do this with a therapist because if I suddenly told myself, Ellen, it's okay to feel a little bit, and let me think about something that matters a little bit. What's important in my life? My son's important. Honey, you need to be able to process the grief, the potential grief, and then it settles more in your mind because if your son does really well, you can celebrate the joy too.
Well, I never did have any grief. Like I told you, I never felt
right,
anything.
Because what you're saying is that you have a policy that you just shut down.
Well, not
Go
consciously.
Ahead. No, but you're making it more conscious now by talking about it, right? You're the one that told me that you shut down. You shut down with the abuse. And so you could work with your psychologist to see any connections. Now, it's not that you want to dig into your past and feel all the pain again. You might need to do a little work just to liberate yourself, though. And a good psychologist would not immerse you in the past, but help you understand it and release some of those emotions and let you express what you really wanted to express towards the abuser, so that you could have a voice again within your own mind, and so that you could experience emotions and not be flatline emotionally, not be psychologically numbed. You don't want to be anesthetized for your whole life. That's not a great coping strategy.
I think I told you I've been with my psychologist for 5 years, and we've been working on everything, including this.
Yeah.
I tell him I don't have emotions. He says I do.
Everybody does. Everybody has,
but not the kind of. And I told him, I said,
no, you're not experiencing them, but you have the capacity for emotions. That's what you have.
Okay.
And emotions are response to things you value or don't. I recently went into a place where it smelled like the septic tank had back. It was actually a drugstore, and it was so stinky in there. Boy, did I have an emotion. It was ew. I mean, it was like a whole physiological reaction. Or you could go into a perfume factory and say, "Oh my God, this smells lovely," or a florist or something. So you want to notice even on the small things. Become more aware of when you have a gut response to something you like or don't like, because that's your emotional mechanisms coming back online. Be aware that if you have been through abuse, it's so good to be with a psychologist when you start to de-repress. That means because the psychologist, you might go through what is very normal, which is called a period of flooding, where you start to let the emotions come back in, and that scares people, and they go back to their old strategy of shutting down.
Well, you know what? He tells us all the time. Whenever I talk to you about emotions, he says you'll, say something, just deviate and just go into something else. So he said you're afraid of your emotions. So
you don't want to be afraid of them. You want to be able to value your emotions. Sometimes watching a very good movie can help. I recommend movies like Chocolat or something, just something that you can enjoy. So listen, I know we need to wrap it up. I wish you the best. Emotions are the stuff of life, the good emotions and the bad. Learning how to read them is great. You can go to my website, drkenner.com, drkenner.com. Look up my review of the book, Mind Over Mood, and I think that will help you a bit.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, thank you so much.
Oh, you're very welcome, Lisa.
All right.
For more Dr. Kenner podcast, go to drkenner.com and please listen to this ad.
Here's an excerpt from The Selfish Path to Romance, the Serious Romance Guidebook by clinical psychologist Dr. Ellen Kenner and co-author Dr. Edwin Locke.
Your ability to value romance can be helped if you have a rational approach to raising your own family. Being a parent is an awesome, time-consuming, long-term responsibility. Do not choose this role out of duty or conformity. Remember that it costs not only time and effort, but also a lot of money to raise and educate a child. Plan long range by saving money and by locating your home in a good school district. Make time for parenting and for romance. Thus, you maintain parenting as a value rather than letting it turn into an unwanted duty or allowing it to undermine your romantic relationship.
You can download Chapter 1 for free by going to drkenner.com. And you can buy The Selfish Path to Romance at amazon.com.